Welcome back to part 3 on the old 1969 Mustang at Slimy Green Garage. We're going to be putting the car up in the air today on this hoist, and we're just going to be looking at what's underneath of it, show you what we've done with the floor pan on the driver's side, and look at what still has to be done. And maybe give you a few tips on this old champion 11,000 pound car hoist, why you should have one or why you shouldn't. Let's get into it. Let's get this thing up in the air. Okay, we've got the car up in the air. Pretty easy to do with this awesome lift. And now we're going to take a look at a few things that I just wanted to point out. You can see underneath the driver's side, we've still got cleanup to do along the welding we did. I'm going to grind that back out, probably do some welding from underneath. But I wanted to point out some stuff. In fact, I made a short just a little bit ago about, maybe you should crawl underneath the vehicle before you purchase it. You can see what we've got going on here with this passenger side floor pan, and there's a lot to be said. We knew we were going to change that out anyway. What I want to show you is a few things that I've seen. So if you look right here, you can see this rocker basically where it goes up to the torque box area. We've got quite a gap, and you can see this nice long screw they use to secure the fender up close. Well, the reason is if we get under here into the torque box area, you can tell right away this car has been hit on the passenger side. We're completely crushed in over here. Our torque box, which should be flat, it is totally concave. It's a major issue. I already have a torque box ordered for this passenger side, but then you can also see the floor support part of the frame extension here, where somebody's already welded on this new piece, and obviously you can see I can stick my hand right in between that floor support and what they currently have going on with that. Beyond that, in this inspection, if we go to the wheel well area, if you look at this new quarter that was installed, you see the wheel well right there. You see the inner wheel well. They're supposed to be flush. That's a whole nother issue that I've got to deal with. And then if we go back up front here to our steering, we told you that in the first video, you couldn't steer the car because the driver's side tire, well, it's not connected. And if you look at our tie rod end situation we got going on, it's been welded right here, through right here, broke off right here, and we have already ordered that. We've got it in a box, so that'll be something that we do right away. But looking at the underneath of this car, there's a lot of disappointments to be seen, a lot of work to be seen, but this is what you get on a classic car. That's why it's so important when you go look at a car to take the time, really check it out thoroughly. If you don't have a shop or the right tools, you buy a car like this thinking you're just going to put it back on the road. Well, you might actually get it running. You might even get it going down the road, but you're probably going to end up having some major issues. We're just fortunate, especially with the kind of rot that we have going on in here in that torque box situation, that the car doesn't just, fold in half like cheese, Swiss cheese, while we're standing under here. So I wanted to show you the underneath of the car, where we're at. Like I said, we got pinholes coming through here, and this is the work that I did, trying to patch in the new floor pan that was already installed. We've got to make this much better. Our mounts for the leaf springs are in halfway decent shape under here. This side doesn't look bad. Go over to the passenger side. Doesn't look bad back here either. So I think we're actually good there, but even they put in these new pieces here, I can stick my fingers up in between. It wasn't even mounted. So it was kind of set in place haphazardly. And there again, I'm nobody to choose somebody out for what they did. When you go to purchase a car, do your homework, take the time to look. And just because you're excited about something doesn't mean that it's the car for you, even if it's in the budget that you got. I don't know if I said it in the first video, but we paid way too much for this car, knowing what it needs. We paid $5,500 for this car. It's got a leaky automatic transmission we don't even know the condition of. Supposedly, the engine's been gone through, and I think that it probably has, but I've only heard that run for, 20 to 30 seconds. It's got the little 8-inch non-posi rear end in here. It's got to be, you know, if we fix all the structural stuff and it's strong enough to handle some power, that ain't gonna do us no good. So we'll be doing a one-wheel wonder burnout the first time we take this out on the road, which that's really the goal with this car. I actually ended up buying another car that I'm excited about from a brother of mine. Bought this Mustang before I knew that deal was gonna happen. And had I held off a little bit, I probably wouldn't have bought this car, but here's the deal. I really like the 69 Mustang. In fact, I think it throws a lot of the best stuff that they had, throws it together. I'm still excited to have this car, and we like being out in the shop, so we're gonna continue our work under here. We got tons of work to do. So first things first, the car's gotta come back down on the ground. I could go ahead and fix the tie rod in, maybe I'll do that. But after that, car needs to come back down. Yeah, well, there's some more stuff you can look at. But car needs to come back on the ground. We're gonna pull the passenger door off as well. We're gonna get that floor pan out on the passenger side. It's not gonna be a lot of work to do it because of the way that it is. We'll get the floor pan out and then we'll dig in to the floor pan to firewall extension up front there. We'll deal with what we need to deal with to get our new torque box installed, as well as I bought new floor pan supports. I did not install one on the driver's side because I didn't think it was really necessary, but looking back, if I was to do this over again, I would have bought the whole new torque box for the front because it really needed to be replaced. It was solid enough to where I made it work. But as cheap as the parts are, if you're gonna get into a project like this, you might as well do it right. In order to do it right though, how far are you gonna tear it down? So that's where we're at. Let's get the car back down on the ground. We'll get the door off, and we're just gonna keep making progress on this car because, you know, that's what we're here for. At least we've been able to put this new car hoist to work. Again, what are the 5 reasons you should never buy a car hoist? Well, there's no good reason to not have one, if I was being honest. But you get a car up in the air that you haven't previously, you know, done your research on, and you're gonna find all sorts of stuff that you're gonna have to repair. That's okay. We've got the equipment, we've got the time. Thankfully, the parts for this Mustang, it's not about the money. There's gonna be, a person gets to a certain point in this car, yeah, there's some stuff that you can purchase that's gonna cost money, but as far as body panels and all that, it's fairly inexpensive. Your time, well, your time isn't. Your time is valuable. And, we're gonna have to invest some time into this car just to get it, well, to get it to the point where I'd be safe to kick it down the road to the next owner. And that's what we're gonna end up doing. I think my goal is to, unless you guys tell me different, we'll get the structural stuff done and get it running and get it driving. Then I think I'm gonna pass this car along to the next owner, unless you tell me different. If you think we need to keep moving along and making more progress at a certain point, and I'm telling you that I think I'm gonna get rid of it, well, I would appreciate your comments down in the comment section. Like and subscribe, and just let me know what you think we should do with this particular 1969 Mustang Coupe. Let's get to it. I've done enough yapping. Back on the ground we go. That's what we need to do. All right, well, we got the car on the ground and it's time to get this door off here. I would say I already snapped one of the bolts, even though I sprayed them down. But we're gonna get the door off. 1/2 inch, 3 bolts on the bottom, 2 on the top hinge. And then we're gonna go ahead and have to pull that front fender off too, so that we can, well, start to prepare for that torque box. But that also means that we've gotta get that floor pan out, so we're just gonna keep after it here. See how much noise we can make. Hopefully we can get by with only snapping that one. This one seems to be doing all right. I could tell these were the original bolts holding this door on. We're getting there. At least that one came out all right. Now we're gonna get the bottom one off the top hinge. That one already broke loose and it's feeling nice. And then We'll take the top bolt off the bottom hinge, and then we're going to move on to the final bolt, which will be the top one on the top hinge. Long-winded. In fact, we have switched to, we're going to run out of room to our ratchet wrench here. Fast turn. Oh, that one doesn't feel good. But we saturate it back down. We'll just go back and forth a few times and maybe save ourselves from snapping it off. Could get the torch out and heat that up a little bit from our access here in the door. But yeah, go back and forth a few times. It's already creating heat. So. Couple of door shims look like we got in there on the bottom side. One bolt to go. Go ahead and roll our window down now. Obviously the door's going to start to sag. I'm going to grab a glove so we don't cut our hand up. We're just having a good old time out here in the shop. A little frustrated after getting underneath the car and seeing all the work that hasn't been done, but just take it a day at a time and one problem at a time. Getting close. Okay. I'm going to store this over here out of the way. All right, our door is removed. I've got a Ziploc bag over on the 55 for door parts. We're gonna grab that real quick. See? Hard. I was smart, I do a right and left. And then I could even write on the bag where these two shims are at. When we do our final fit on all this stuff, things are probably gonna change anyway, so we're not gonna worry about it. Okay. I guess moving on to the fender, which we might as well get that off there. I can see we've got a 1/2-inch bolt. Right there, we've got that long screw, if you saw a little bit ago, that's attaching the bottom of the fender. And I think there's one bolt down there too. Yep. Let's see if we can get that. Excuse me. If I was smart, I would just go ahead and get the impact. I'm gonna make this a little faster. Coming out. Nope, need a wrench too. Alright, let's get comfortable. Now we'll get some. Got it. It's probably supposed to be a factory welded situation there for the nut. Not surprised by that. Just get our Phillips head driver out and get that removed at the bottom. Oh, look at that, extra parts. So even though our bag here is marked door hardware, we're going to put these extra bolts in there too, because we know what we're doing. Do we? I think so. Okay, so now we're going to get this 1/2-inch bolt out at the top. We're going to go ahead and start to make this easy on ourselves. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why start now? Better late than never, right? Let's be a 7/16 on that one. Take two. Now we'll lift up the hood. Now let's see. We do have wiring going to our headlight assembly that's currently attached to that fender. Any of this is actually attached. Find out. Pull those out. Real obvious. It's just sitting there. So you see how easy that was, right? That's going to have to come out. Extension couldn't stay on there. We need to disconnect the wiring. We have two bolts right there that need to come off. So we'll do that. It's almost like the headlights not going to mount. Oh, are you kidding me? This is fun. How much holding that headlight in that bucket? All right, we got a couple of 7/16s, looks like there. Might be it. That also houses it. I guess we're gonna come up front here. And go back to the next bay. Zip these out. Come on anyway. 7/16. What we need. I'm gonna have to pull battery. I found two more. They just keep on giving. That's it though, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to finish getting that lower valence off. I'm going to show you some stuff. Move you around where you can see up front here. Can you see that good enough? We looked at it when we were underneath the other day, but you can see this torque box. Even more so, man, it got mashed good, even up into the firewall area. It got caved in, and of course we can pound some of that out, but this whole structure here got pushed in. So we've got some work to do. Can we get to that pretty easy? Yeah, probably not. Of course. So up in here, it's kind of where that heat core and all that would be located. Blower motor, up in the corner though. We'll see, we'll figure this out. But at any rate, in order to access any of this anyway, we need to get the floor pan out on this side. And I think I already told you, I don't think it's gonna be all that hard because it wasn't fully installed anyway, especially on this side. There's some tack welds. And we'll just see how well they're holding up. But we'll get the floor out, that'll give us access. We just bought a new porta power set up, so if we need to push this out, we will do that. But I think once the floor pans are out, we'll probably go ahead and try to beat out the original torque box, if the upper half of it, it's a two-piece, I mean it's all welded together when it's installed. The new one that we bought is actually, it's all welded together, so it's a one-piece. But on the driver's side, a lot of the upper part was gone. So if it's the same thing over here, then we'll be able to take care of that. I can also see here that somebody welded in a plate that's not original. You may end up taking the hood and the other fender off. I don't know how deep we're gonna have to get into this, but we're just taking this a step at a time. So, without thinking too much more about it, hopefully that's all good there. I think it is. I think, who knows, maybe whoever's driving Mustang pulled out in an intersection or whatever, but somebody hit primarily right in this area. So it would be kind of neat to know the story on the car. That's probably never going to happen. But sitting here thinking about all the work I got to do, I ain't going to get it done. What's that up there? Cushion block, everything in there looks fine. Maybe shining that camera there will give you a better idea of what I was talking about. You might be able to see it better, but it's definitely right here. We've got issues. So this will be fun. Yeah, there's even a weld there. Somebody tried to patch this back together. And you know what? I mean, happens all the time. And I guess if the car continued to, go down the road and be driven, as long as it was safe, can you really blame a person for doing that? It's still nice to see things done, with a little bit of quality. But it's probably pretty common back in the day with a car like this. We've got some rot up in here. That's not a big deal. Obviously our tower cover here, it's got some rot. All right, well, there's no reason to not just go ahead and get back in there and get that floor pan out, right? You wanted to look at the floor pan anyway, didn't you? Ouch. All right. For our seat riser, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, not attached, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 welds that we need to deal with. And as long as we can get the cutting wheel to them, those will go real easy. Otherwise, we'll just use the air hammer. And yeah, it'll be just fine. I don't know why you guys are stressing about this. It's not like you didn't inspect the car that you were purchasing and found a whole can of worms you had to deal with, right? No, I did that. You guys don't have to worry about it. And like I said, if you take anything away from a video like this, is that number one, you better be having a good time, no matter what you buy. But definitely do your due diligence before going out there and making that hot rod purchase. Sometimes, although I get it, sometimes it's better just to buy a car that's, it's been gone over already. You spend a little more money up front. But if you were buying a car like this and you didn't have the shop or the tools or the time to work on it, you're gonna spend a whole lot more money if you contract that stuff out especially. So if you got time though, and you got some patience, or you've prayed about, Lord, grant me patience. Well, this is the kind of car probably for you, because he'll give you the opportunity to learn that patience that you've been asking for. So, okay, let's get back to it. Can see, we got the floor riser out. It wasn't really that big of a deal. I don't know why we were all complaining about it, myself mostly, but now we've got to go around the welds that are in here. We got a couple of 2-3 inch welds at the front, a couple of blobs. I mean, pretty much it's just all blobs around here, and that's fine, because my welds, if I was being honest with you, sometimes don't look much better depending on how well I clean the metal up. Yeah, but we got to get the floor pan out, floor pan to riser material out, which is going to unveil the whole torque box area. And Lord forbid, Lord help me, do we have to pull the dash out? I don't want to. And thank God my wife is here to support me, because I couldn't do this without her. In fact, this would not be possible if it wasn't for, God blessing me with that beautiful woman. So that's where we're at, and I'm taking a break, by the way. And you ask why the silver bullet? Well, number one, that's what Dad drank, when he would have a beer from time to time. And number two, I'm all about American. That's right, patriotic. And we don't support companies that don't support this country or are going a little too far. And if I go this way, you're going to think it's right. But in actuality, I'm talking about left. And if you don't like the fact that a lot of times, not today, but I wear a red hat a lot of time. A red hat. Beautiful hat. It's the most beautiful hat ever, in fact. But yeah, God bless America. God bless the fact that we have the ability to dream here in the United States of America. And I'm just a big dreamer. And so if you don't like that, well, push along to the next page. But if you're all about being American, go ahead and comment down in the section how we're doing so far. All we're doing right now is making a mess. And in fact, we're going to be doing that for a little bit yet. But I'm going to go ahead and push on to the next step. You guys have seen enough. Let's get this ground out. Let's get this floor pan out of here. Okay. well, yeah, that was easy. I mean, honestly, it wasn't hard. It took a little bit longer than what I thought it might, but yep. Anyway, let's pull this out here. Our new floor pan install, uninstall, get it out of the car. Let's fix this right. Boom! Get you some of that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you don't want to look in there. You don't want to see what I see any more than I want to see it. You know, it is what it is. No, it's fine. Really. Get over yourself. It's fine. There's nothing that's going to change my mood today except this very moment in time. Lord help me. And he does every day, by the way. If you haven't thanked the Lord today for all the blessings you've got, well, this now would be a good time to start. I knew better when I bought this car, by the way, too. So don't think that when you get into some trouble in life that, don't blame God for it. Like, oh, why didn't you protect? No, because you're stupid. I'm talking to myself, right? When you get into a situation that you knew better, it ain't nobody's fault but your own. So I guess I could just, can I bring you in here? I don't know. The legs are long to get you maneuvered in here. We're going to try it. Okay. Fold you up. Bam. Tilt you back. Ooh, lock you in. All right, bring you in here. Yeah, get in here. Now I can bend you back. Okay. Let me make sure you're looking at what you're supposed to, because you guys don't like to pay attention all the time. So now let's start here. So you can see this is extra. There used to be something here, and then it went away, and then somebody did extra right here. Extra is not always bad, but it doesn't make it look good. And then if you move forward, we got a hole here. Really our frame, our outer frames, it's all kind of bunched up. We got gaping holes in here. There's an extra, oh, look at that. Hey, we saved money right there. We got an extra washer. But anyway, so what's next in this whole process is we need to remove this material. Boy, that's bad. I don't know if you can see it, but you know, your frame rail that runs up, here's one of the actual supports the floor would normally welded to, and right here it should be the same shape, but you can see it's all beaten down. And over here, if you look in here, where'd the metal go? It's gone. Oh, anyway, let's not cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. We got the floor pan out. We got to cut some metal out to reveal more of what damage we obviously have. Let's not kid ourselves. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, guys, so here's what I'm saying. Are you paying attention? Are you looking at me? Okay, so we got more material that we got to take out. But I think for all intents and purposes, y'all have seen enough for this particular video. So hopefully we didn't break our mount on the GoPro there. It doesn't matter, right? It'd just be one more thing we got to fix. But we got the floor pan out. There's obviously, we've revealed trauma that we already knew after we got the car up in the air that we were going to see. We took the door off today. We got the fender off today. We got the floor pan, that brand new install. Well, we got that out of here. That was a job, right? But I'm gonna call it quits on this video. I think in the next video, we'll go ahead and get the floor pan extension out, the floor to firewall, I guess, extension out. And we're gonna kind of open up that whole can of worms in that torque box area. We're gonna find out how far did the rocker, essentially, which is your frame support on this particular car, how far did it get bent? We did buy a porta-power set, which I haven't had in the past, and so that's going to help us out with that. But anyway, look, at the end of the day, we've had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed yourselves watching the video today. God bless you guys. I always like to say it. Go out there into the world and use the superpowers that you've been blessed with, because we all got them. God blessed us with those, to make the world a better place. Be kind to others, and do your best to just be a light in the darkness. And that's what we're trying to do here on the channel. If you liked anything that you saw today, like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Gosh, I've heard that 1,000 times over, but it really does. And we're still not at 1,000 subscribers yet. In fact, we're in the 600-ish mark. We'd like to get that built up pretty quick, but you know what? All things in God's timing. I'm just thankful to be able to do what I do. But yeah, again, God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one. If I can flip this glove off, I could say, see ya, and God bless you until the next time.